The heat is a physical weight. It presses down on the cracked earth, on the sparse, thirsty acacia, and on the hunched forms of the clan hiding in the scrub. They are Australopithecus, the southern apes, a people of the fringe, caught between the old world of the forest and the new, lethal loneliness of the savannah. For 3 days, the sun has baked their thirst into a constant, rasping heat. Their lips are split. Their dark eyes are dull with need. But no one moves toward the river. To move is to die. Baka, the old female, watches the water. Her joints ache with the memory of wetter seasons. But her mind is sharp, a repository of scars and survival. She sees the young ones, their small chests rising and falling too quickly. She sees the dominant male, his knuckles white where he grips a heavy femur bone, a useless totem against the new god of the river. This brutal chapter of prehistoric life is defined not by the hunt for food, but by the desperate quest for a single, safe mouthful of water. The god reveals itself, not with a roar, but with a pressure change in the world. The murky green water bulges upward, impossibly, pale long, narrow snout, studded with conical teeth designed for gripping slick prey, breaks the surface. Then comes the head, larger than any crocodile, and behind it, the horrifying banner of its power, a sail of skin stretched over bone, a series of blade-like gnaw spines rising from its back. The Spinosaurus glides through the water, an island of ancient hunger. It is the apex of this riverine world, a monster from a cooler age, and it has claimed their life source. One of the younger males, his name a series of clicks and grunts lost to desperation, can bear it no longer. He breaks from the meager cover of the thorn bush, his loping, bipedal gait a frantic scramble toward the water's edge. A low growl ripples through the clan, a warning, a plea, but his thirst is a madness that drowns out all sense. He reaches the bank, cups his hands, and plunges his face into the cool, treacherous water. The response is instantaneous. The water erupts. The great predator moves with a speed that defies its bulk, a torpedo of muscle and teeth. Its jaws, built for river monsters, close on the small hominid with an indifferent crunch. There is no fight, no struggle worthy of the name, just a brief, choked scream swallowed by the river. The water, for a moment, is stained a brilliant, shocking red. The clan shrinks back as one, a collective gasp of terror stolen by the oppressive heat. The Spinosaurus slips back beneath the surface, leaving only ripples and the spreading pink cloud to mark the passage from life to meat. The river is its larder, and they are now nothing more than thirsty prey, trapped on the wrong side of evolution. The sun falls, but the heat remains. Trapped in the stone and soil, night brings no relief, only a different kind of terror. The dark is filled with the calls of unseen hunters, but the clan's fear remains focused on the silent, waiting river. Another day passes in the same agonizing paralysis. Thirst is now a predator in itself, stalking the inside of their bodies, weakening their limbs, clouding their minds. Desperation begins to curdle into despair. They are a species at an evolutionary dead end, outmatched by the savage magnificence of the dinosaurs. It is Akka who breaks the spell. She does not look at the river anymore. She turns her back on it, a profound act of defiance. Her gaze is fixed on the low escarpment that marks the edge of their territory, a wall of ancient and stone baked red by 1,000,000 years of sun. For hours, she just watches it, her mind, a tool sharper than any flint, working through a problem no one else has yet conceived. She sees not a barrier, but a vessel. She remembers a season of great rains. Years ago, when water wept from that very rock face, she presses her ear to a fissure, listening past the buzz of insects, past the pounding of her own blood, and she hears it. A faint, deep, rhythmic murmur, the ghost of water, flowing somewhere within the stone. She rises on aching legs. The dominant male grunts a challenge, but she ignores him, her purpose giving her a sudden, inviolable authority. She walks to the rock face, her clan watching, their apathy momentarily broken by curiosity. She lays her palm flat against a section of rock darkened by ancient moisture. She turns, her eyes finding the young ones, and mimes the act of drinking. Then she turns back to the wall and strikes it with her fist. The sound is dull, pathetic, but the meaning is clear. This is the genesis of a plan that a modern student of anthropology might call a paradigm shift. It is the birth of engineering. Arca points to a collection of heavy, rounded dollarite stones, the kind they use for cracking marrow bones. She then points to a splintered horn from a long dead triceratops, its tip still wickedly sharp. This is their osteodontocratic technology tools of bone, tooth, and horn, repurposed for a task of impossible scale. The plan is insane. They will not find water. They will release it. They will break the world to fit their needs. A murmur of understanding, of dawning, terrifying hope, spreads through the clan. They gather the stones, the horns, the heaviest bones they can find. These are ancient tools being marshaled for a new kind of war. The dominant male, seeing the logic of action over passive death, throws his own immense strength behind the idea. But as they approach the rock, he stops them. He pounds his chest, then points a thick finger toward the river and mimics the great sail of the Spinosaurus. The noise, the hammering will be a dinner bell. Arca nods slowly. She understands. The plan has two parts. She looks at two of the clan's swiftest runners, a young male and female, their limbs long and built for the open plains. She points to them, then she points far downriver, a kilometer or more. She makes a motion of throwing a large rock into the water, followed by a frantic, thrashing display, mimicking a large animal in distress, a lure, a sacrifice, a high-risk diversion to buy the time they need. It is a gamble of breathtaking audacity, demanding intelligence, cooperative foraging for tools, and a profound, terrifying trust in one another. There is no other way. The choice is made in the silence of their shared gaze. They will shatter the rock, or be shattered themselves. The two runners move at dawn. They are little more than children. Their bodies lean and wired for speed, their faces masks of terror and resolve. This act of altruism is not a choice they made with words, but with a shared look of understanding. The clan thirsts, and they are the only ones fast enough to buy the necessary time. They carry no weapons, only a single, heavy stone between them. Their survival skills are their legs and their desperate courage. They slip through the desiccated scrubland, every rustle of dry grass a potential death knell. Their eyes scanning not just the river, but the sky, the horizon. The world of prehistory is a 360-degree threat. At the designated bend in the river, a full kilometer from their clan, they stop, with a heaving grunt. They swing the rock and hurl it into the deep channel. The splash is a gunshot in the morning silence. They immediately begin to thrash at the water's edge, kicking up mud, screaming with a manufactured panic that is terrifyingly close to the real thing. For a long moment, nothing happens. Then, the water shifts. The sail cuts the surface, followed by the long, crocodilian head. The Spinosaurus is drawn by the sound. Its cold, reptilian brain processing the frantic signals of struggling prey. That is the signal. Back at the escarpment, the hammering begins. The dominant male, using his immense upper body strength, brings a heavy dollarite boulder down against the rock face. The sound is a dull, jarring thud. Others follow, using sharpened horns to chip away at the cracks he creates. It is a frantic, uncoordinated effort that slowly finds a rhythm of primitive lithic industry born of pure desperation. Arca directs them with gestures, pointing out the weakest points, her mind the blueprint for their salvation. Dust fills the air, mingling with the salt of their sweat. The sounds of their labor are a prayer to the stone. Downriver, the two runners see the great predator turn toward them. It is time. They flee. They scramble up the bank and sprint across the floodplain, their bare feet pounding the baked earth. But the Spinosaurus, while primarily aquatic, is terrifyingly fast over short distances on land. It heaves its colossal body from the river, its gait thundering, awkward, yet impossibly swift charge. The young male is faster, his terror fuel. He pulls ahead. The female stumbles. A patch of loose scree gives way, and she goes down. She has time for one sharp cry before the shadow falls over her. The male does not look back. He cannot. He runs until his lungs burn and his heart feels like it will burst from his chest. When he finally stumbles back to the escarpment, the hammering has a new, frantic edge. A dark, wet patch has appeared on the rock face. The smell of deep earth and moisture fills the air. They redouble their efforts, their grief and hope channeled into the swinging of their arms. A fisher sprinters. A trickle of water, black with ancient sediment, escapes. Then, with a groan, a slab of sandstone gives way. Water, cool and clean, gushes forth, creating a spreading pool at their feet. They fall upon it, plunging their faces into the life-giving stream. The sound of their desperate drinking, the only sound that matters. They have done it. They have bent the world to their will. But, as they drink, they see their reflection in the new water. And one of their number is missing. Their new home range is now marked by a spring and a grave. They have life, but they have also learned the brutal arithmetic of survival. A lesson that will shape all early humans to come. Look at them. See them not as a failed experiment on the long road of human evolution, but as the first flicker of the fire. They stand beside their hard-won spring, their thirst quenched but their spirit scarred. They did not conquer the beast. They did not slay the god in the river. They did something far more profound. They studied, they thought, they cooperated, and they refused to accept the tyranny of the water's edge. In the face of a monster from a forgotten epoch, they did not rely on Thorclaw, but on a plan born in the mind of an old female. This desperate gambit, this covenant of scars, is more than a story of survival. It is the story of defiance. It is the first draft of the human strategy, to reshape the world rather than be broken by it. Their small victory is a whisper that will echo through millennia, a testament to the audacious idea that intelligence, wielded by a community, can stare into the jaws of an indifferent universe and carve out a place to live. It is the moment we stopped being merely prey. This is the sound of the world before us. This is the echo in our own blood. But on the vast, open plains, a new kind of terror runs with the wind, and it learns the scent of hominid flesh.